Welcome to Buddhism for Everybody. My name is Tim. In this video, I'm going to talk about the use of language and terminology as it applies to learning and understanding Buddhism. The origins of Buddhist teachings in this world are almost 3,000 years old, and they exist for us today because of the stewardship of many beings in the past. Like any knowledge passed on from generation to generation, the biggest danger is change, the loss of the original meaning, misinterpretation, and leading to misunderstanding. I'd like to make a few points of clarification on my approach in making these videos. Languages are fluid over time. The meaning and usage of words change. Then translating an idea from one language to another, it can be simple or it can be very challenging. Some languages have close similarities, like the Latin-based languages, and others are dramatically different. All languages are constructed over time to meet a need, the need to express ideas. And the ideas of a culture or a belief system have enormous variations. The teachings of Buddha are thousands of years old, and originally they were spoken. At first, there were no written records of what he taught. Written texts were rare compared to what we have today. So the people in that age developed exceptional memories and could recall his words verbatim. This is how they would pass on the teachings. When he left this world after 82 years, a large group of his students gathered, and they wrote them down. These original texts are in Sanskrit, an ancient language from India. In the centuries that followed, the teachings made their way to other regions of the world where other languages were spoken. So there was a need for translation. China is one notable example, and Tibet is another. The main teacher I received teachings from is Tibetan, and he described the process of translation hundreds of years ago when the teachings were taken from Sanskrit and put into the Tibetan language. This was a gathering of some 150 great scholars and meditation masters who spent years perfecting their translations. They checked and rechecked their work because the most important goal of their effort was to fully retain the meaning of the teachings. As an English speaker, my efforts are to put the meaning of the teachings and principles into words, to the best of my understanding, so those who listen will hold the same meaning in their mind as I do. It is known as transmission. One mind holds some understanding and conveys it to another mind with the exact meaning, in its complete form, like a duplicate copy or copy and paste. There are three methods of transmission. The first is known as oral, or hearing the spoken words. The second is symbolic, which can be images and written words. The third is called mind to mind. A Buddhist lineage is a chain of transmission that spans many generations of teachers and students. Often, all three forms of transmission are utilized. These videos are primarily oral transmission, so they depend on words to accurately convey the meaning. I speak, and you are listening and hopefully understanding something. If I am successful, your understanding will match mine. The challenge with this is the teachings began in the Sanskrit language, then moved into Tibetan, and now they are being placed into modern English. There are ideas, notions, and descriptions in Buddhism that don't have any exact terms in English that will convey the meaning. So some words remain in Sanskrit, like Buddha, karma, or samsara. These words and their meanings, along with other Buddhist terms, also in Sanskrit, are crucially important to understand correctly. And in future videos, I will talk about many of them. Also, sometimes there is an idea in Buddhism that is assigned an English word to represent it, like cessation. It is an idea we normally don't encounter in our culture, and its meaning, here in the context of the Third Noble Truth, is needed to convey the meaning correctly. Cessation here means to cease, and not arise again, like a plant that is cut at the root. When you understand this meaning, then you can really comprehend what the idea is saying about us, something profound. There are also ideas that Buddhism needs to express that don't have an English equivalent, but they will be assigned an English word anyway. And this word will have a slightly altered definition as it is used in these teachings. For example, love or compassion. Love has the meaning of wanting others to have happiness, and compassion has the meaning of wanting others to be free from suffering. These usages are different than a dictionary definition, but they serve as placeholders to convey a specific meaning. When English words are used in this way, I will make efforts to clarify these altered definitions, because that is how misunderstanding and misinterpretation is avoided. The whole point is to accurately convey the meaning, and sometimes some creativity is needed. Translations of Buddhist material can be problematic, both for the reasons just described and a few others. One reason is the translation process itself. In the 20th century, many of the Buddhist teachers from Asia had translations done by English speakers. But without understanding English, they had no way of verifying the accuracy of the translation. It was up to the translator to first understand the meaning and then choose the English words that would hold it. Sometimes this was successful, with clear and precise language, and sometimes the words are more like poetry, with many ways to interpret the meaning. This dynamic of translation can affect both the vocabulary choices and the grammar, and even a small departure from the original teaching can easily lead to misunderstandings. The listener also has their bias, their habit of using words in a particular way, and many of us, myself included, can have the habit of making assumptions. We hear something that can be interpreted in more than one way, and we choose to believe we know the correct meaning. Then, sometime later, we may discover the meaning is actually not what we decided it was. This is why the choice of specific words is important. Anything that can reduce some misunderstanding is good. Word choice, the order of presentation, emphasis, and repetition are all very useful tools in oral transmission. They can be used to overcome misunderstandings and wrong interpretations. There is also the natural curiosity that we have, piquing of interest. There are times when spelling something out is not the most helpful thing to do. If you are inspired to do your own research, make your own discovery, that is the best kind of learning. Like a scientist, run your own test and draw your own conclusion. Spend time to deeply contemplate, to ask questions and look at the doubts. Buddhism is an active study. It's something to engage in again and again, to apply to our experiences repeatedly. That's how we deepen our understanding. Buddhist study traditionally has three parts. There is learning, there is contemplating, and there is meditation. It's an ongoing process that sometimes requires patience in both ourselves and in others. We learn something, and then we review. We question and challenge it. Ask ourselves if we believe it, if we accept it as true. This may be quick and simple, or it may happen in stages over long periods of time. And then, when our questions and doubts have been resolved, it's time to meditate. And meditation in this context means recalling the idea, the principle, again and again, so it is solidly established in our habitual thinking. I do believe in what I say here in these videos. To the best of my ability, I will share it with others, but I don't expect or even want my words to be seen as definitive or final. Everyone should have some skepticism, at least enough to find other sources to verify, like a scientific peer review. If it works for you, take it as your own. Buddhism is for everybody. We all have our own path. My goal is just to provide some assistance, as those who taught me provided their assistance. I hope this is a beneficial series for you, and please come back for more information. Thank you.